Well, freeze it. Who's that person right there?
I don't recognize him.
That's not your son? You don't recognize your own son? What is your son doing in the interview room?
Sustained.
I was told.
Yeah, I have an objection.
Stop. Okay. We have cameras everywhere in the building. So when you leave this courtroom and you go down a hallway, and then you go into a stairwell, and you're smoking, we know who it is.
In criminal cases, do you have any skepticism going in that the person may be faking dissociative identity disorder?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Just that you always have to be skeptical.
Did you look at the statute regarding insanity for the state of Colorado prior to rendering any opinions in this case?
I did, but I would have to look at it again to look at it. And I've also
So she's saying that one personality took over during the time of the murder, and that personality didn't know right from wrong, didn't understand what they were doing. And then when Letecia went back to her normal self, she was like, oh, I didn't know what happened. That personality is not me. So I didn't know what happened. I forgot that it happened. And now it's convenient for her to say that, like, okay, well, now she has access to Maria, and Maria is the one that like confessed and told her, like, And then also, if Letecia didn't know that one of her personalities killed her stepson, then why would Letecia cover up herself so much? There's like a whole time. Does the doctor not have, okay, I have a question. Does this doctor not have access to like the entire case? Is it just like, hey, I'm just going to interview this patient and that's about it? Everything else is out of my purview. Is that how it goes or something? Does she not know all the other facts about this case? Like how Letecia tried to cover it up. Letecia was searching things. Like how would this interweave with other personalities? Like, was it Letecia going in and out of her like consciousness? Like, for me, I would believe it. I would only buy it if the person had history of like severe history of mental illness, if their interrogation interview looked vastly different than Letecia's. Because like we have her phone calls when she was talking with her husband where she's like, I want immunity. I want immunity. It's like, well, why would you want immunity if you didn't know that one of your personalities killed your stepson at the time? Why would you ask for immunity, right? Why would you ask for a polygraph test? Why would you get a rental car? Why would you hide the body? Like, I just don't buy it. No, we don't buy any of this.
Well, Mr. Cellini went out the door and then some gentleman with a mask on followed him out. Who was that person?
I don't recall, and
Can we just play that portion back? We're going to play the portion back. You can just look at this TV right here. Okay, we're not talking about him, Dr. Lewis. Please keep watching. Well, freeze it. Who's that person right there?
I don't recognize him.
That's not your son? You don't recognize your own son?
Because he was running the camera, but I don't recognize.
Well, running the camera, Dr. Lewis. He's going out the door when the camera shuts off. What is your son doing in the interview room?
Particular interview, we had asked when we put it her, and I had asked her, could have been.
I must take your kids to work. She should have said that.
And I begged her attorneys to get this, and their answer was that the court would not pay for those tests to be done. I had never heard, in fact, I said, I've never heard of this before, but it did not occur to me to pick up the phone and to call the judge. I didn't even know who the judge was, but I was told I could not get this and that I must get something in by then. So I didn't even call my initial contact
Wait, what's the test that she wanted to do and they didn't let her?
I could not get funding from this court to get these tests done. So I called.
What was the test?
Phoned to the judge or whatever. I begged to have these things done. I can only tell you that. And I would have spoken to anyone who wanted to talk to me about it.
Well, you were contacted well before February 2022.
Oh, EEG and the MRI?
In this case, correct?
Absolutely.
And you were
Okay.
contacted.
I saw that in the comments as well. Okay, cool. You guys are confirming
And
it.
when I worked at Bellevue,
She's lying. She sent an email to the lawyer telling him to cancel the request for the test. It's reviewed in court the next day.
In
What?
fragmented mind.
this is not right.
Dr. Lewis, just answer my question.
I-
Does the document accurately depict the email exchange between you and Mr. Cellini with regards
Barb, thank you so much for the 2. Maria Moore.
to your knowledge of whether an EEG was
Okay.
withdrawn? Yes or no?
Whether it was, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
Withdrawn, your request for an EEG.
It was not a permanently withdrawn thing. I'm saying right now.
No, I'm going to ask you to
Oh, to answer the question.
direct her to answer
Dr.
my
Lewis, the question is simple. Is this an email that you sent to Mr. Tellini? Yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Wait, did the judge just hop in? Oh my God, I like this judge. Yeah, get it, judge.
But
Mr. Young?
We move to admit People's Exhibit 735.
Oh no.
Okay. Exhibit 735 will be admitted. Go ahead.
The
And
other
did you say
judge
in
is
that
so
email,
annoyed.
go ahead and withdraw the EEG. We'll address it at a later time.
I said, and now, if we could address it later, this did not mean it's not important. It was just organizing in my head as most important. Like, that became less important than something else.
The email speaks for itself, doesn't it? You're dictating in the email why you didn't think it was important at that time.
Well, I'm saying that there are other things have arisen that we should also address.
So why did you yesterday blame the attorneys that you didn't know anything about the EEG being withdrawn?
I did not consider this withdrawing it permanently, but simply I did not wish to fight with the court over are you getting this, are you not? The court refused to get it, and I say it can be addressed again. I did not think of it as a withdrawal.
Listen to my question carefully.
Yes.
Why did you yesterday tell this jury that you never requested to withdraw the EEG, that the attorneys did it, never told you anything about it?
Because I did not request to withdraw it. I said you could kind of wait and do it, and I did not think that they had.
Can I retrieve your document from you, please? This is what you said in your email, and you can explain what it means after I read it, okay? I have been reading more on Letecia, and I think we should drop the EEG request. What does that mean to you?
Oh
Know the
no.
timing of it and know what I was thinking about at that time that was most important. But this was not something that I was going to, I can't possibly assist you if you don't have this. I think it's, I think we
No, oh my God, this is so rough. This is so rough. Okay.
should have it, but we can wait. Get it later. In fact, it may be, I could be mistaken, but I believe that Mr. Cellini had said to me, there will be appeals on this.
You know, I'm going to ask that be.
Your Honor.
Dr. Lewis,
We could get
I'd like, Dr. Lewis, please stop.
Wait. One at a time. One at a time. Dr. Lewis, please confine your answer to the question being asked. Mr. Tellini will have an opportunity to ask you questions on redirect. And if there's anything that he thinks you need to bring up, he can bring it up then. And Mr. Young.
Your Honor, I would ask that what she just said be stricken, that the jury be instructed to disregard it.
Mr. Tellini? All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you're instructed to disregard Dr. Lewis's response to Mr. Young's most recent question. Mr. Young?
You know,
Have
if you
all
asked
those-
how many I missed, I probably missed more than I ever made.
Okay. Are you right around here?
And then in a report that you did for the court on February 12th, in that report, you put down the need you thought for both an MRI and an EEG, correct?
Correct.
And you recall in relation to this court, the issue being that this court would not give us any more time to get those things done. Me relating that to you.
Uh-oh. Is this it right here? I'll slow it down.
Sustained.
I was told.
I have an objection.
Stop.
Okay.
What? Who yelled stop? Is that the judge?
To get those things done. Me relating that to you.
Sustained.
I was told.
I have an objection.
Stop. Okay. The objection was sustained.
She kept talking. Oh no.
The witness will stop responding to a question when an objection has been sustained. The jury will disregard the witness's answer.
That sounds like the judge yelled stop.
You can ask another question.
All right. Moving on to some of the other stuff. The district attorney on his cross insinuated some stuff.
Wait, okay, sorry. This is back to direct examination. MRI. her son being there during the interview. Why was her kid being there? Oh yeah, what's with the pot smoking thing? Sorry guys, I was just skipping through. What's with the pot smoking? What happened? Is this recently or something?
This entire building, the El Paso County Combined Courts, in its entirety, is a non-smoking facility. Also understand, we have cameras everywhere in the building. So when you leave this courtroom and you go down a hallway, and then you go into a stairwell, and you're smoking, we know who it is.
Who is it?
Especially if you've been warned about it before and you go down to another stairwell and smoke.
Trying to be slick about it.
I want to be very clear. There is no smoking of either tobacco or marijuana products anywhere in the courthouse at any point in time.
Okay.
Anybody who is here that I learn continues to do that. I may.
Wait. Okay. How do you guys know who did it though? How do you know who? What signals? Is it coming in later on, or how do we know?
Bar from the courthouse pending the outcome of this trial. So 2 things: no phones, no smoking. Let me ask, anybody in the gallery have any questions about that? Raise your hand. No response. All right. I'll take that as everybody that's in the courtroom understands my message clearly.
Weren't. I don't know if that's gonna be a lot of weren't, right? Weren't. Oh, okay. All right. We're popping around a little bit. Okay. Right here.
So, Dr. Lewis, what can we do to make sure that you're here and ready to go at 1:20? What do you need? Right.
Huh?
Okay. Well, the reason I asked that question is because you were supposed to be here yesterday at 9, weren't. We're supposed to be here yesterday at 1 o'clock, weren't. We're supposed to be here this morning at 9 o'clock and weren't. So we need.
Oh my God. Yo, don't disrespect the judge's time, okay? The court's time, the jury's time, they hate that. They hate it, they hate it, they hate it. Amy in the courtroom said he reeked of weed. A person covering the case said it was the son. I knew if someone was smoking weed. Jesus. They smelled like weed.
To start, we need to have everybody, whatever it is that needs to be done in such a fashion so that we're here ready to start at 1:20. Is there anything that I can do to help make sure that that happens?
I will make an effort to the attorneys, Your Honor. I tried to call last night at 4.
I understand that. Okay.
That was why there was a difficulty, because I thought maybe I didn't want to be late for you.
Right.
Make it in the afternoon or tomorrow.
No, I listened to the Maria thing. Yeah, I listened to it. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I listened to parts of it.
I was quite ill.
Feeling better now? Are you feeling better now? Right now, good. Okay, all right. All right, well, we will hope that that will continue. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Communicate with Mr. Tully.
Okay, so for cross-examination,
You're here to testify that this defendant was saying at the time she committed this crime. I'd like you to explain to the jury now what law you used in rendering that opinion.
Would you permit me to read it, and I will tell you what aspects of it I
You're the expert, doctor.
concentrated on. By and large, I used the McNaughton definition of whether the person knew the nature of what he or she was doing and that it was wrong. And
As you sit here right now, do you know the legal definition of insanity in the state of Colorado?
if you would show me show me as it is written out, I will tell you whether this is what I used. I can't say it to you verbatim, but the idea has to do with whether you knew the nature of what you were doing and that it was wrong.
Well, clearly you have experience in testifying in criminal cases. You said 100 or 200 times, right?
Right.
And so you know that when you write a report, that report comes to the prosecution, it comes to the defense, it goes to the court, correct?
oh yeah, where's the
Yes,
report?
usually.
And in
The
the report, you want to put what the legal definition of insanity is in the state of Colorado, because that's what you're here for. That's what you're here to testify about, correct?
When you have written a complete report with all of the data that you require to come to that conclusion, and then try to go word by word with the definition.
All right, they are really going after her.
I would guess, yeah.
I've read your other reports. In your other reports, you define what insanity is in that particular state, and you explain in your report why you think someone was legally insane at the time.
Can someone give her her report? Give her her notes.
Based on law.
She's
Why did
struggling.
you not do that in this case?
I would have to look at the definition, and I
Okay, she
could.
She needs her
And I
notes. Maybe right around here.
taken while I was going through hundreds of pages of notes, and to my surprise, disappeared. And I had no memory of having seen it before until I looked at it, skimming through it, and found it in the past, I would say, 12 hours or so.
It was until you realized you had nothing to corroborate
Oh my God.
your diagnosis that she was Maria Sanchez and you needed to come up with something. Is that right?
No, it was
Why
written.
wasn't that in your report, doctor? If it was that significant. That's the only corroboration you have. Why is it not in your report?
It is not the only corroboration that we have, sir. This is an observation as you go through hundreds of pages of notes and you see something there that you hadn't expected. And so I'll jot it down and think, hey, that's kind of interesting. But there are many other pieces of evidence that there were other times that that she apparently used other names and that she signed differently. But for example, there are notes where there are different names, but if you really study them, it turns out they were her names. They were before she was married, they were when she was married to one person, then to another. And I will write them down because what at first may look as if, gee, why is there this name? Did she use that? And then you're an idiot if you say, oh, yeah, she was in an altered state, when no, she was in an unmarried state, or she was
Okay.
married to a different person. So that when I'm going through things, I'll jot something down. I happened to jot this down because I thought, how come that early?
How come aren't you supposed to turn in all your notes before trial happens? All of your notes, make copies and turn everything in? Or do they only get the report and not the notes? Shouldn't you get everything?
I didn't become aware of, I don't think I became aware of the Maria character until I had interviewed her.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when everyone became aware of it.
Well,
Just
here,
to make it clear
yeah.
that family members, including her daughter, Harvey Hunt, her husband, Al Stauch, had never seen any signs or any evidence that she had different personalities.
I can't comment on that because people's ability to recognize things, the ways in things the ways things are asked make a difference. So I can't in general say, yes, this matters. No, it does not. This is interesting.
Well,
Somebody knows.
before you go off on another tangent, let me finish my question, okay?
Okay.
You
No
consider
tangent.
that there was no evidence by family members that she had no patients that she had disassociative.
Sorry. When he walks away from the what is this called again? It's not a podium. It's a something, right? When he walks away from it, the audio it dips down. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
That specifically, I did not think about that specifically because different personas are either recognized differently because of the sensitivity of the observer, or they don't occur in that setting, and they occur in another setting.
And it doesn't help your diagnosis with dissociative identity disorder, correct? Is that why you don't consider it?
No, it's interesting that they did not notice this. It may
What your note says, doctor. Okay.
Well, that could well be one of the people who said, I never noticed she was different.
Hi,
But,
Rain.
sometimes she called her
Oh yeah, the lectern. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, the lectern. Hi, Johnny. Rain. Everyone, how's it going?
herself Maria, so that you're open to whatever comes your way.
Dr. Dorothy Lewis, American psychiatrist, who has been an expert witness in a number of high-profile cases. I don't know. I feel like she would do better on the stand, right? You would have more practice. This is like your line of work. This is your entire career. She specializes in the study of violent individuals and people with DID, dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder.
And I'm asking you a question, doctor. What did you send to Mr. Tellini?
I sent him a brief report initially.
I think this is also the beginning of Cross as well, right?
She was psychotic at the time. I believe she did not know what she was doing. I'm not certain she even knows that she did do it now as we speak. And that it was wrong is if she doesn't know that she did it. I think that she does not appreciate the nature of what she did, or that it was wrong, and that she is guilty of having murdered Gannon.
So she's guilty of having murdered Gannon, but she's legally insane as well. Is that what you're saying?
I think that she murdered Gannon. I shouldn't use the word guilty. She murdered Gannon. again, I think you're teasing me a bit. If you would just rephrase that, I can tell you whether, because you're making me feel, gee, maybe there's a totally different definition here. But
In criminal cases, do you have any skepticism going in that the person may be faking dissociative identity disorder?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
just that you always have to be skeptical about, well, just even about your own skills, not just
Okay.
whether somebody's faking or not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm interested.
You have to you have to be appropriately modest about your skills and your ability to recognize it. Sure.
Okay.
And in your book, you write alternate personalities leave evidence of their existence all over the place. Jonathan, who is the neuropsychologist, is that right?
No, he died. He is the
Reports, social service records, medical charts, letters to friends and relatives, journals, diaries, drawings, all pieces of the puzzle that, when fitted together, reveal the picture of a divided.
No, Carrie.
it often did.
Maybe it's just
Correct.
bad memory.
What I'm saying there is that you get data. In fact, I noticed that in some of your reports, I think there were references to certain kinds of SCID, interviews and things of that sort. But what I was trying to
Wait, I have a question. So, did she misspeak when she talked about Reagan earlier, or did she actually mean Reagan, like Ronald Reagan?
say is that when we make a diagnosis, I pretty much insist that there has to have been evidence that this existed
Okay.
long before I ever set eyes on the person or the person set eyes on me.
Right.
And very often you will find writings or drawings or all sorts of evidence that somebody has produced, or even signing into hospitals, all sorts of things. And I insist
Okay, so she literally meant Ronald Reagan. Okay, because I was a little confused what she meant, because she said about the shooting of Reagan, and I was like, wait, what is she talking about?
that whatever it is, have or try at least to have evidenced itself long before they saw me, because you're very open to being accused of suggesting
Okay.
and of giving someone an idea that, oh, they must have this because you can suggest it.
Yeah.
And this is why, at least in our clinic, we would search for evidence
Okay.
that antedated any contact with us or with our clinic, and
So-
still do.
And that's why you would never want to suggest to a
Okay, so I want to know, what was her evidence that backs up that Letecia does have DID? Like, what's the history?
defendant that you're doing a forensic evaluation on, that they may have some kind of mental disease or disorder, right? Is that what you mean by not suggesting?
No, by not, by just looking back, because you can usually look back and find evidence of, let's say, different names and different signatures. You can very often, you can find different artistic styles and different signatures at the bottom. of them.
Okay.
So that you look back so that nothing you did influenced what you used to make your diagnosis.
Okay.
And it's how we try to at least be certain that we have not created anything that wasn't there.
It seems to me then family members might be very relevant to interview with regards to not their loved one.
If they would.
Dissociative identity disorder, correct?
Well, there's one fallacy there, which is very often the abuser has been a family member. And with Marie Moore, the father would not allow the mother to come in or be seen alone. They
Wait, but we're talking about Letecia. Like, can we not just talk about like generalization? Like, can we just talk about Letecia's scenario?
came in together would say next to nothing. And
I'm talking about this case.
well, but family members are not necessarily the best in the world. Far better is looking back at what the person himself or herself has created prior to your
The person who created that may have a reason not to tell you the truth, right?
wrong.
Wait a minute here. You just said a few minutes ago that you're skeptical going into these interviews because people who are charged with crimes may have a reason to fake it. You don't understand
And that is why you would have your data antedate any crime, any contact with them, because you can't retrospectively malinger. And it's vital for everyone to remember that you cannot retrospectively malinger. Oh, gee, I'm going to sign this painting differently because 10 years from now, I'm going to commit murder. Come on. That is why you cannot.
Yo, she's getting a little bit spicy. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is she going to be like, oh, there's a painting that she signed 10 years ago that was Maria?
That's why you don't just take something that was produced after you met with the person, why you look back and you beat the bushes for any data. Letters, old letters to people, letters to and from, old social work records, old medical records where you signed in for some procedure.
What about a daughter named Harley Hunt that had been with the defendant her whole life, every day of her life? Don't it be relevant to talk to her, to see if she saw any signs of dissociative identity disorder?
Oh, sure, it would be very helpful.
So
And
what did Harley have to tell you when you talk to her?
I asked the attorneys with whom I could speak, and
Uh-huh.
I was not put in touch with any of these people. And so I
Yes, blame the attorneys.
I did not use them unless if they had years before made some kinds of notations about the person, that would be kosher. You could probably look at that. But
You say in your book that there was a case in Florida. You were subpoenaed or asked him
Right, book.
while you're conducting the evaluation. You remember him asking you that?
yes,
Do you remember giving 3 answers? 1, want them to see what I see. That was your first answer, correct?
right,
And you knew this was being videotaped, correct?
right.
Why couldn't they just watch the video?
In my experience, it is helpful for me to have the person who is responsible for the case to see what I see. Another reason would be I've said to them, try not to interrupt me if you can avoid it. But if there is something toward the end or something that you feel
Hi,
I need to know
Bernice.
that I've just failed to ask about, please feel free to ask it or ask.
Yeah, see, that's why I wanted to tune into this, because I wanted to see if, she talks about not just like refer to the interview, like, oh, because she was acting this way in the interview and Letecia told me this, Letecia told me that. But it's like, okay, like what kind of test did you do? And then like, did you go through the history to see it, like if Letecia did have history of DID? And then like, but you guys are saying that she referred to the absolute importance of having history in the diagnosis. Yeah, right. She's talking about like paintings. She's talking about like signatures and stuff like that. It's like, okay, does that mean she has something with Letecia and she hasn't shared it with us yet? Offered 0 proof of historical symptom record or documented mental illness records for Letecia. Hi, Bernice. How are you doing today?
Ask me, can you?
Hi,
answer?
Chani.
So that there are a number of reasons why I like the person to see what I see and also to enable me to see what he or she sees that I may have missed.
Well, isn't it kind of awkward because the attorney there is the one deciding to
Oh,
do
what's
it
popcorn covering?
based on your work? Doesn't it make it awkward for you and the defendant to be in the same room with the attorney as you're doing a forensic evaluation?
I honestly make up pseudonyms all the time. I think it's fun. I have pseudonyms for like different like gaming accounts. My computer login is a pseudonym. So I guess like in the future, if I ever commit a crime, I'm just going to refer to one of my pseudonyms. Be like, see, I told you guys, I did have multiple personality back then. It's like, I would never commit a crime, guys.
But we do know that she got a softball scholarship, that she got a doctorate's degree, that she.
Would you explain the doctorate's degree, where she got it and how?
Do you not know
What?
that she got a doctorate's degree, doctor?
I don't know if you counted the same. It was over the internet and it was like Coursera or something like that.
It was over the internet. Your degree doesn't count. Wait, Letecia has a doctorate degree?
I think that you need to look at that a bit.
You know more about it than I do. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Okay.
No.
Well, it was,
Other than that,
I don't know, some of those big bosses.
watch the videos. It's not on video.
Don't commit a crime, we need you. I'm too risk adverse. I'm too much of a scaredy cat.
It's not there. I don't know, but that's where she says she got it.
But anyway, that didn't impact her ability to go through college.
Yeah, it did. Her college was also, I believe her degree was a computer, an internet.
And she succeeded like that.
Computer, internet. Okay, let's watch the next day.
You had Miss Stauch drew, I forget the name of the test where they draw the clock and they have to put the hands of the clock. What's the name of that test?
I don't know. I call it clock.
Wait, is this a test that she made up, or is this like a real like test?
We'll call it the clock test. Is that right with you?
Yeah.
So you had her perform the clock test and she did horrible on it.
What is the
Well,
clock test?
she did something that I have seen before on with like older patients who have been actually demented, and I actually consulted.
Oh, clock drawing test screens for dementia, Alzheimer's. The clock drawing test, CDT, nonverbal screening tool in which a patient is asked to draw a clock. Placement of the numbers around the circle requires visual, spatial, numerical sequencing, and planning abilities. Okay.
Dr. Marikangas about it and others, because it looks as though there is some kind of a defect in the ability to see certain areas. And so that everything was crowded. I knew there was something unusual. And I had asked her again, would you do this again? And she did a much better job of it. And then I remembered I jotted down L because
How do you know she wasn't faking it?
when she had done something with her right hand, and then I hadn't asked her to change hands at that point, but I wondered, why are these different? And one with the left hand had been done one way, and with the right hand another way, so that she functioned differently. And all
Oh, well, I have no idea. I'm just jumping into now, and chat's just like, they're basically filling me in on everything.
so she functioned differently at different times, which puzzles me. This is partly why I very much
Wait. Maybe it just means that she's malingering. She's inconsistent. she functioned differently, and she functioned differently at different times. I mean, if you have no evidence to back up that she's not malingering, or sorry, if you have no evidence, if you have no evidence to back up that she has a history of DID, then wouldn't like her functioning differently at different times, wouldn't that just be like she's just really inconsistent and she doesn't know what the heck she's doing, but she's trying her best to malinger?
Wanted to consult a neurologist because I don't feel that I am familiar enough, skilled enough, trained enough to say this is a section of the optic area that I think is functioning differently at this time. But
Did the thought that you review the state hospital reports, both the competency evaluation and the insanity evaluations, correct?
I'm not sure at which point, but I am not aware. I'm not aware of having seen that. That was kind of my last minute thought. Is there anything I can do that might
You
show
didn't
me
ask
any
for it?
neurologic dysfunction of any sort? And so I said, "Oh, would you please draw a clock for me?" I didn't tell her which hand. I tend to just put something down and then pick it up. And I was staggered at what I saw because it's a specific dysfunction. It isn't like trying to mess something up. It was in part of it. And then when I asked her to do it again, she did it better.
And doctor, I understand that you want the jury to hear what you have to say, but if you can just focus on my question. And
Okay.
Did you review any prior test that Ms. Stauch took with regards to this clock test that you've been talking about?
I don't recall seeing another clock test at that time prior.
Oh, did she already do the clock test, and did she do it right the first time?
May I retrieve an exhibit? It's people 736.
You may
Oh no.
call it
Where it's at.
a single speed, if I remember right.
About that, Dr. Lewis. We've got a couple exhibits in this case.
I also have other clocks here that I had asked her to do. Here are some. And I think these were done the same day. So it is a puzzle to me, and I don't pretend to, I don't pretend to be an expert on interpreting this, but
You see there in the top right-hand corner,
yes,
picture clock?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
I'm not, I don't recognize this as having seen this actual page before,
Okay.
but it is a clock, and, it's
She did pretty good on that one, didn't she?
well, it's not 10 past 11 really, but it's, I have others where she did better with me. And it puzzled me that at the time I said, would do it again and do it again. And it did improve.
So she already did the clock test, and the doctor didn't have access to this information?
I am puzzled by this phenomenon, and I can't explain it to you except it is
Really? You're puzzled by it. You can't explain it. Well, maybe the rest of us can explain it.
unusual that particular way of drawing it has been found in individuals with severe brain damage, actually.
Well, and we were talking about
She did a better job. And then I kind of looked
Right, so
and I
clock
marked that
test.
she had been using her left hand and then her right hand or vice versa. And sure, it varied right then and there. And I can't pretend to tell you exactly why. I think that with the assistance of a
Okay.
So she's, first of all, video recording a conversation she's having with her stepson, who's 11 years old, saying things like, it's okay, we can sell the couch, not a problem.
Oh, I do want to know what her thoughts are on this. Or do I? Do I care? Let's see what she
We
says.
can sell the couch and fix it. And Gannon says, I'm just worried about my burns, and he's crying. Then she says, it's okay tomorrow, and then she shuts the video off. Okay? Remember seeing anything like that?
I'm sorry, I don't recall it. But again,
What?
much of what I saw was not clear. The sound was not good. And I am not aware of having seen that exactly. I am aware of having read that
How would you not? How would you not remember unless the defense didn't show her the video? I want to know who gives her all the evidence and stuff. Like, who gives her all the stuff to, like, the case file? Who gives her everything to review? Is it the defense and the prosecution, or is it just the defense? And maybe the defense didn't give her that.
Gannon, that she said he had little bubbles on his arm. That's the part of that. I'm assuming it's the same issue. That is the part that stayed with me.
Well, what about the part of her having the ability to stop the video after Gannon says, I had burns?
I'm not sure what that would mean. What would you have me agree to?
Don't you think that would be evidence that she didn't want anyone to know that Gannon had burns?
Do you guys remember? Do we know if she deleted that video and they were able to recover it afterwards, or did she have that video still on her phone and she didn't make any attempts to delete it?
I can't say. I'm not aware of that because she did say that he had little bubbles on his arm. If she didn't want anyone to know that, I don't know why she would have said that.
4:36 in the morning on the morning of January 27th, 2020, she sends a text to her employer saying, I can't come in. My stepfather was just killed in an auto accident. You remember that? We talked about it
Yeah.
a little bit. Very significant to you and your opinions.
Yes.
We'll get there in a second. Do you remember the rest of the text string?
The rest of the text, if you remind me, I can tell you if I remember it. I don't know what you're referring to.
Paraphrase. I'll say.
Yeah.
So the boss returns, later in the morning because she's not up at 4:30. She says, just let us know what we can do for you. Let me know when you can come in. Words to that effect.
Yeah.
And then the defendant texts back and says, I can't believe you can be so inconsiderate. I had a family member just die.
Oh my God. I did not know that was the rest of the text message. Oh, dude. I mean, I want to know if the boss was trying to allude to like, hey, can you still come in today type of thing. Jesus. Eric, thank you so much for the 5. Thank you.
Objection to stating text.
I'm paraphrasing.
Rule.
Remember seeing anything like that?
I remember reading
Appreciate
about
it.
what to me seemed wacky, if you want, you can call it psychotic, but that made no sense. This man was dead, I think, for 8 years. And to call in and say, she clearly was not thinking clearly or cogently or accurately.
No, she's just a big fat liar. She's a big fat liar, and she likes to give people extreme lies. That way they won't question her. It's like instead of saying, oh, hey, my son is sick, I'm going to stay home. No, my dad died. He got ran over by a car, because she probably doesn't want to be questioned. She probably doesn't want to be hammered about it. Okay.
And
Most people hear that and they kind of back off. Hi, Bleep. How are you doing today?
she gave, it was one of these ridiculous kinds of excuses that a person of her intellect would not be expected to volunteer. There's you'd almost say a stupidity about it, but she isn't stupid. There's something
let me
wrong.
stop you, doctor.
She isn't stupid. She isn't stupid. Dude, there are just people who just fucking lie, okay? They call it stupid lies. And you know what? It's because they're idiots and they think that people are going to believe it. But, oh, man, it's probably because, like, in the past, people probably haven't called her out on her lies before, maybe. Or when they did call her out, she kind of just moved to a different state, right? Harley would say that Letecia would just pick up and just move to a different state.
That's how she's describing this.
Couldn't be that just didn't want to go to work that day. Could that just be out of the realm of possibility?
Unlikely, but possible.
And she had other things to do that day. She didn't want to go to work.
I think it's unlikely.
And you also know that her stepfather actually died in 2004, correct?
I know he died 8 years, I believe, prior to this.
Well, let's do the math.
I'll go by your math. Okay.
Okay. She was also able to call in to Gannon's school and say, Gannon's not going to be coming into school that day either. You seen that?
Absolutely.
Nothing psychotic about that.
At the time that I read that, became aware of it, I was puzzled because I thought, gee, then he must have been dead then. Why is she calling in? And it really did not make a lot of sense to me to be calling in one person who died 8 years ago was having a funeral that day, and Gannon couldn't go to school, but I learned subsequently that he is reportedly dead a lot later than that. So that it's a puzzle why she called in to say he couldn't come in.
It had nothing to do with maybe planning and what she's going to be
I
doing.
don't
that
know.
day.
It could have had to do with planning.
Planning, trying to hide her tracks, you know. Hello, Hugo. How's it going?
And then you know that she also sent a text to her husband, Al Stauch, saying, hey, don't let school know that Gannon's not coming in today. Instead, he had some stomach issues the day before. For that one?
No.
The stepfather, you said that was psychotic or evidence of psychosis.
I don't know what you're referring to, sir.
The
Could
fact
you?
that she called in school and saying my stepfather just died.
I think it's peculiar. It's bizarre. I'm not sure what that was all about, what she was thinking, why she did that. It doesn't make sense. It's a bit of a leap to call it psychosis right now, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense.
Does it make sense that she may circle back to that at a time where she wants people to feel that she's mentally ill, blame it on her stepfather because it's on record that she's already talked about her stepfather dying? Does that make sense at all to you?
Doesn't make sense to me, no.
And in the morning of the 27th at approximately 8:14 a.m. and then again at 8:16 a.m., she takes pictures of Gannon in bed and sends them to her husband, Al Stauch. Do you remember seeing that?
I don't recall seeing. No.
Not unusual behavior.
I beg your pardon.
Is that unusual behavior? Taking a picture of a child sleeping in his bed?
I wonder if she's had history of doing that before. Like, does she usually take pictures of Gannon and like, oh, hey, this is what Gannon's doing right now, or Gannon's sleeping in bed, right? Like, just like as updates, right? Or does she do it in this one particular event because she wanted to make sure her butt was covered, okay? Oh, see, I told you Gannon's sleeping in bed. He's sick right now. He can't go to school.
It's behavior. I don't know what kind of behavior.
Do you think she might have been taking pictures to show that Gannon was still alive that morning?
She might have been.
And then you talk about it with her in the interview, and you know from reading the police reports that her and Gannon leave the house about 10:20 in the morning. They go to Petco. Remember that part?
Yeah, in parts. Yeah.
And they take Al Stauch's red Nissan truck. Remember that?
I don't recall it was a red Nissan truck, but I recall it was a truck that.
And you can actually see Gannon walking to the back left passenger side, rear left door of the truck and get in. Remember seeing that video?
I don't recall seeing it, but I may have read other people saw it. I just don't have a clear memory of that particular film.
Now, in the video, you can see the clothing that Gannon's wearing. You see sweats with a white stripe going down. You remember seeing that?
As I told you, I don't remember seeing that particular thing. But again, the equipment I had was not that here he is walking around. And if I understand correctly, she had already called the school and said that he could not come in. Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. He's homesick. She's home because she's telling people that her stepfather died, and they decide to go shopping, playing hooky.
Oh, was it buying cat toys? I forget, something like that.
Needless to say, Gannon's wearing the same clothes that he was found in under a bridge on March 17th, 2020. They leave that morning.
I believe you.
Now, at the time that she drives that truck around and goes to Petco, does she have the capacity to know right from wrong?
I don't know. That's a leap where, if you can't talk to the person and you don't see more. I don't know.
You talked to her. Did you ask her that?
I wonder how often she testifies. I don't know. Maybe there's some people that maybe she doesn't get a lot of people that reach out to her to testify, maybe. And then when their lawyers reached out, she's like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. I'll take it. Take whatever work I can get. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions here.
I don't recall asking specifically, did you know right from wrong at this point? I don't know. And I don't know the answer to that.
Would it be a stretch to say she did know right from wrong? In fact, that she was able to go to Petco, run errands, and come back later that afternoon with no tickets, no accidents.
That she knew right from wrong then?
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would think having called into school and having said that this child can't come in, and then taking him on a field trip to Petco, that she really did.
If you don't know a lot more, can you come in here and say that she was legally insane based on her driving to Petco again that day?
I can't say because I don't know enough about it.
Do you remember seeing that?
Again, I remember knowing about it, what I saw and what I remember reading. I can't distinguish the two, but I do recall that I believe it was at 2 that there was a return.
And we see a leg drop on the right rear passenger door right about the time that the driver's door opened. Do you remember seeing that?
No.
Well, she tells you that they both come home together, right? When she's talking to you.
I'll buy that. Sure.
Do you not remember that?
Again, I don't remember word for word when she told me these things. And also, since I read other people's accounts of them, I can't tell you exactly where a piece of information came from.
Anything about the video about them coming back at 2:20 p.m. that would lead you to believe that she didn't have the capacity to know right from wrong?
It's a tough one to say right from wrong versus that she didn't know what on earth she was doing. And
I'm just asking if she had the capacity, if she was the autopsy report. You've read that, right?
Right.
The autopsy report tells you a lot about how the killing took place, does it not?
I think so.
And the autopsy report tells you that there was at least 18 cut wounds and stab wounds.
Right.
And a lot of those were defensive wounds on Gannon.
Some on his hands.
He was fighting back, right?
As far as we know, yes.
Is there indication that whoever did that had the capacity to form the intent to kill?
I don't know. I would think so.
Just based on the stab wounds alone, right?
Well, it certainly had that quality of, as I thought about it, whether there was an automatic quality to it, which is partly why I wanted certain neurologic tests done, because there was a repetition, as I recall. But there were signs on his hands of cut marks. So there
Fighting back, right?
looks that way to me.
And the location of the stab wounds, 3 in the chest, 1 in the head, several in the back and arms that we already talked about. Does that indicate to you that whoever did this had the capacity to form the intent to kill?
That's a stretch for me because when individuals keep doing this kind of act over and over and over again, it can be an attempt to kill, but it can also be a repetitious kind of automatic act. And not having been there, and I don't know what the state of mind was, whether there was a kind of an automatic going about this, or whether there was a real, gee, I haven't killed him now, I'd like to kill him.
Well,
I don't know.
Let me have you take off your psychiatrist hat for just a second and just use good old common sense.
Yeah. How
Based
about
on
that?
stab wounds alone, whoever commit this crime had the capacity to form the intent to kill.
I cannot answer that for the reason that I've just told you, that I don't know whether the person was automatically doing something which, with certain types of complex partial seizures, occur, where a person just keeps, they may do something not at all violent. They may button in.
So if someone was stabbing away 18 times, it might not be because they had the intent of kill. It might be because it's something else. I just don't know.
Button their coat.
I don't
They
know.
may turn a light on and off and just keep doing it. And they may just keep doing that. Or they may say, not dead yet, I want to kill them. So that I don't know for sure what was going on in the head of.
The fact that there was blunt force trauma, i.e. some sort of object was used, caused 4 head injuries, one of which crushing Gannon's skull, causing skull fractures.
Right.
The fact that another instrument was retrieved and used lead to the opinion that whoever did this had the capacity to form judgment and reflection,
Mm-hmm.
and also had the capacity to form the intent to kill.
I think you could interpret it that way, or you could say the person felt threatened, felt endangered. By the way, I did not
What?
understand where that came from or how, with all of the.
She felt threatened. She felt endangered. Okay, let's focus on Gannon here. Gannon's 11 years old, okay? Letecia did not feel threatened. She did not feel endangered by any means.
Stab wounds, where this item came from. Perhaps I missed something in the report. But
Well, let me stop you right there, because in your report, you said you thought it may have been a baseball bat. Am I writing that in your report?
I'm sorry, I don't recall that. But it could have been a fear that the person himself or herself, murderous object. I don't know what was going through her head.
What about the blunt force injuries to her Gannon's head, the 4 themselves?
I'm sorry, I don't have a good understanding of the object or of that particular aspect of the injury. So
Why does the object matter?
I don't know. I would have to know.
The point is, they decided to move from a knife and go to
Mhm.
another object, continue on with the killing, correct?
I'm not.
So possibly from knife to a baseball bat and then to a gun. That's crazy. That's so wild on an 11-year-old.
Correct. I don't know what came first or what came second, and I'm not sure how when you're stabbing someone you get around to hit them on the back of the head. It puzzled me, and I still don't know what was going on at the time or in the person's head. For all you know, the person could have felt threatened and felt that something was of danger to her,
Oh my
of danger to
God.
her. I don't know what was going through her head at the time.
Well, there's an 11-year-old boy who has 18 stab wounds lying in his bed.
Right.
And then she takes an object and crushes his skull. Does that indicate that he's fighting back at that point?
I'm sorry, I don't know enough about the.
Did you look at the crime scene pictures?
I
Well,
looked
she's
at-
probably going to say whatever personality, the Maria personality, felt threatened about Gannon at the time because Maria probably didn't know it was Gannon. Maria probably thought Gannon was probably a figure representing her stepfather or something like that. Like she's probably going to come up with something like that. And that's why she's saying the word threatened, that like this Maria character felt threatened by what she thought was someone else, but was really Gannon and didn't know it was actually Gannon. Like, I don't know. It's probably some bullshit like that.
I looked particularly at the autopsy. I remember I'm not as clear of the crime scene pictures except for the spatters of blood and this sort of thing. But I don't know what was going through her mind when this was happening. Was she defending herself? Was she attempting to kill him? The puzzle is all other data say that she loved him and that he loved her. And
Did you not get the phone searches? Did you not get the phone searches? Hello? I hate my stepson? Hit and run or something like that?
Good, didn't she?
Did she not get the phone searches? Come on.
The next thing she does is she gets another object, gun. The fact that she gets a gun,
Yep,
does that tell you
gun.
she has the capacity to use judgment and reflection? It's the capacity to form the intent to kill.
Oh, you better not say no. No, the fact that she got a gun doesn't mean she had intent to kill. She just grabbed a gun because she felt threatened.
I don't know, sir. When I spoke with her, her memory was I could see a gun in my hand, and I do not know what was going through her head or why there was a gun or why she shot this. It would be a leap for me to speculate on this. It is not clear that she simply wanted to kill this. This is a child she loved. As if we believe what other people said, she loved Gannon, so that.
And so I just want to make sure I'm
I don't know
understanding.
that she wished to kill him. I don't know that it was even he that she wished to kill. Clearly, she did.
She drags his body to the storage room and stuffs it in a large green suitcase. She had the capacity to know right from wrong when she did that.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, why conceal?
It would certainly seem she knew that this was something that should not have happened.
And does that corroborate the actual killing, that she had the capacity to form an intent to kill the capacity to use judgment and reflection, the fact that she immediately stuffs his body in a suitcase afterwards.
I don't know for sure.
What about cleaning up the crime scene?
These are questions that you
After
should
she
know.
stuffs his body in a suitcase, she goes back to the room and cleans all the blood off the wall. Not all of it. Does she have the capacity to know right from wrong when she's cleaning Ann's bedroom?
She certainly believes that other people will believe that she had done something horrendous or something terrible had happened. That's, I guess, as far as I can go right now.
She then goes back to the storage room and throws a bunch of boxes on a green suitcase in the storage room. You've seen pictures of that?
Again, I've seen lots of it.
And they search the entire house. And her demeanor is calm, cool, and collected. Anna went to some friend's house, didn't come. Makes those statements with her demeanor like that. Is that evidence that she had the capacity to know right from wrong?
I don't think that's evidence that she knew right from wrong. We don't even know whether she knew what she had done. I don't think that that's evidence she knew right from wrong.
What about, is it evidence of psychosis?
It certainly sounds out of touch with reality.
When someone's in a psychotic state, it's pretty obvious, right?
No.
Looking around.
Wrong. No, sorry. That's television. No.
Okay. So someone in a psychotic state can act normal and have a normal conversation with a police officer when their stepson is in the storage room underneath a bunch of boxes in a suitcase?
Particularly if the person does not know that she has done that or that this is what the status is. That, we don't know what, but there's something really odd about being in that a very calm sort of state. Here she has reportedly murdered a child she loved. This makes no sense. This is psychotic.
But but you're only going off, you don't know if she actually loved the child. She might not. If she didn't love the child, then what? Then what? What do you say to that? That's not a fact that you definitely know that she loved the child. You don't know that. Honestly, she said that like she couldn't take other people's words for things, but like now it's like you can't really take other people's you can't really take other people's words that they believe that she loved Gannon because they didn't know what happened behind closed doors, right? She could just pretend. They don't know. She could have just been faking it.
Well, and
Did she kill that boy? Did she think she'd killed him? Was it that boy? Did she remember what had happened?
Well, let's talk about the next day then, if she remembers. She drives her Tiguan out of the garage.
Yep.
It is gone for 10 minutes and it comes back.
Yep.
I don't remember that specifically.
Then the airport.
And then later.
How do you
that
not remember the specifics of this case? Why are you on this?
morning at 8:30, she goes to pick up Al, her husband, at the airport. Remember that?
Yes.
Yep. Rents a car.
Very young. Could you find a reasonable breaking point in the next 5 minutes or so?
Sure, I can. When she leaves at 6:22 a.m., I think she might be looking to see if anybody's watching.
That's a speculation. I don't know.
Because when she leaves at 8:30, do you know who's in the car with her?
I'm assuming that that the body is in the car. Is that what you're referring to?
Absolutely. Body that you just said that she may have forgot about. She didn't remember killing him, put him in the suitcase, hide him in the storage room. That one.
Yes.
Gets the body out of the storage room, takes it upstairs, puts it in the back of the T1, drives to the airport.
Yep.
Sound familiar?
Is that a question?
Yeah. At the time she does that, does she have the capacity to know right from wrong?
I don't know.
I don't know. When she thinks that, at least what she says to some people is, she thinks that she can bring this body back to life. And she says that she brings him or tries to get him a hamburger. That ought to do it. And
Do we have proof that she was actually trying to buy him a hamburger, or do we have proof that she just went to go to a hamburger place and she fucking ate it because she was hungry?
then I believe she even tries to get him ice cream. This is psychotic thinking. This is
No, that's what she's saying. What actually happened is she drove directly to the airport, parked the T1, left Gannon's body in the back of the T1, rented another car,
Yep.
and now her went home. That's what
Yep.
happened. What she's saying is psychotic because she wants you to think it's psychotic.
Yeah.
I can't say that's correct. I can say you believe that's correct.
Yeah, it's a good time to stop.
All right. Then they go on a break. Yikes. Yeah, that's whew. I didn't see the direct examination. Maybe she does really well in direct examination. Maybe she comes off as really credible, but the cross examination, that was pretty rough. A lot of like I don't knows. And I think the prosecution does a really good job. Like, yeah, the reason why it seems psychotic is because she wants you to think it's psychotic, and she's giving you these answers because she wants you to think that she has DID. Yikes. Okay. You think the jury's offended by this? So someone mentioned that tomorrow might be closing arguments, and do we know for sure that this is the only witness that's going to testify for
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Letecia?
we will take our morning recess. If I can.
I want Letecia to testify, but I'm pretty sure she ain't. Okay, I'm pretty sure she's not going to go up there and testify. I'll keep it out tomorrow. What what time do they start their court? Like 9 their time? Let's see, Colorado time zone. I think it's like 2 hours, right? Colorado. Oh, 1 hour. Oh, not too bad. Yeah, maybe we'll pop in tomorrow and we'll watch if they're doing closing arguments, we might listen to the closing arguments. Yikes. Geez.
We're going to play the next video, okay? Would you like me to turn you around towards the TV?
Oh God, now what?
Okay. And so for the record, we're going to play People's Exhibit 732. We're going to start at 1 hour and 7 minutes and 8 seconds and end it at 1 hour and 40 minutes and 8 seconds. So this is roughly 33 minutes. And so we're going to play it continuously through, Dr. Lewis. So if you wouldn't mind, I'll ask you some questions when it's over, okay?
What video is this? Do we want to watch it? Okay, someone said Maria Moore. Oh gosh, okay. Maria Moore? Did I type that right? Maria Moore. I don't have anything for Maria Moore. I have Maria, but where are we at? Billy. No, I searched Billy too. Nothing popped up for Billy. Nothing for Billy. Tortellini. Okay, wait, where are we at right now? Let's see. Hold on.
Again, please.
It's November 16th in the afternoon, 2022.
Just okay.
Oh my God, sorry. The audio is so bad.
Maria said she will come in on her terms, but don't think that she answers any. I need to talk with Maria because I think that Maria knows a lot more what happens when Letecia.
I'm sorry, the audio is so bad. Why couldn't they get professional cameras in the courtroom, Judge? Why? Why do we gotta watch this doo-doo webcam crap?
Effective, like not a bad thing. I can keep.
Thank you for the 2, Barb. It was yesterday on Direct. Okay, is there any keywords I can try to search to try to get to it that they mentioned? You remember?
Communicate effectively
50 Shards with Eduardo by Letecia Stauch.
with them. You gotta know what to. Like if they come to visit me and I'm as myself as Taylor, then I can sit down and talk to them and.
AKA, I'll let you.
I don't know. I don't know.
Sorry, the audio is really bad here. Yeah, the audio is not being fed directly from the video. It's like what the courtroom hears, and then it records that. And then whatever microphone, no one adjusts it. They need to adjust the microphone. It's like the noise gate or something. If the audio is too low, it cuts off. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. Okay. Is this Direct?
She wasn't going to know. She was going to marry with herself.
Letecia case. She's in there, so.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Oh, she like you to pull some things to help you have to do what to get the body.
Is this the act?
We're the man in the cake. We don't have a man in the cake. I thought it was the man in the cake. It's not. It was again, but I have to put these together. Do you have any idea why, yet, in your recollection or at the time, seemed to be a man in the cake? I don't know. That's one of just like you figure out the news. Here, and put the blanket around it so that he looked like the man.
There could be a possibility, but obviously.
Yeah, it's very bad. I can't barely even understand it.
My sources. And probably this was only about student,
I think you read a lot.
I don't read it all. We don't know.
I can't tell the accent. I can't really hear. You guys said she was going between a what accent? Russian accent?
So where do you get your kind of psychiatric conclusion? So I didn't.
80% are isn't out, but we watched the beginning already. Was there a video in the beginning too? I don't see a video. Oh, was it here?
The record, we're going to start with People's Exhibit 7 in the morning here of the video. Obviously,
Of the what?
it's just the video's paused.
I see Caitlin and I see my papers and so peripheral vision. What's going on?
It doesn't move. You'd have to adjust your.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah. And I didn't do about
I need to sit back further and
just
it's too hard to see her from here. Can we move perhaps I can just move the wheelchair over there and look
Sure.
up here.
I can help you out. We paused it at 13:11.
You want to sit back?
What? Yeah, let's see.
Or just need to speak up so everybody jurors behind you.
And it may be easier like when it's
13:11.
Russian, Spanish and Russian accent, Scottish for a little bit.
What the date of this, just so I have.
Sure, it's November 15th, 2020.
like very what do you call it? Like risky yeah, like gonna say like get me in trouble.
Yes.
Can't go out.
Go to where the prosecution grills Lewis for bringing her son into the interview and pretending not to recognize him, her own son. What keyword should I search in order to get to that?
I'm not a partner.
You're not a part of it. So,
Oh my god, this does look like the ring. Oh my god, you guys remember when Samara did the oh my god. Oh my god, when Samara this one.
Can you believe it's been
Wait, shit. Samara was doing an interview in the psychiatric ward. Where is it? Oh my god, that's what it reminds me of. Sort of when she's like, remember when she was doing the interview and she's like sitting there with her hair like that? Letecia. Oh.
It's just
Yeah, okay, this audio is really bad. I could barely hear it. Keyword son forensic. Let's see. Jesus. No. Oh. We're getting a lot of word with sons in it. Your son? Your son. Oh, is that it?
look like
Okay, we're not talking about him, Dr. Lewis. Please keep watching.
Okay. I found it. Okay, I found it. I found it. Okay.
Okay, the camera or the video stops at 1:40 and 08 seconds. Who was that other person that was leaving the room there, Dr. Lewis?
you did.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying. I don't think it's faked. I think that she switches back and forth and her identity and who she is clear.
What'd you talk about after the camera was turned off, doctor?
I beg your pardon?
What did you talk about with Maria after the camera turned off?
I have no recollection of talking with her after the camera was turned off. No idea. I don't know for sure on papers, but I can tell you sometimes if things seem that they're down or that
God, this is so painful. Okay, anywhere else you guys want me to hop around to? If this is her only witness, yeesh. Oh, God. They couldn't turn it around. Oh, God. All right, guys. What a day. Jesus. We might try to catch some of this. If they're doing closing arguments tomorrow, I would try to watch it live. We'll see. Seems like she had a lot of passively smoked some weed, distracted, going in circles, explanations, and answering simple questions with short, accurate answers. I was shocked about her professionality, especially since she's done like what 100 to 200 of these expert witness testimonies. I don't know. Maybe something's happening right now. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why she needs her son with her at all times or something. I couldn't hear anything. We couldn't hear anything. Even if I bumped up the audio, it's just the courtroom audio couldn't pick up because I guess she wasn't speaking directly into the microphone. She must have been like located in a different area. I think they moved her around, right? Because she couldn't see the TV screen from where she was sitting at. So they moved her to a different part. But guys, I did not expect this at all. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys had fun here. If you missed it earlier, we talked about Alex Murdaugh. Alex Murdaugh finally admitted that Gloria Satterfield did not trip on his dog. So he admitted to lying about that. But he also is saying that like, oh, Corey Fleming had nothing to do with it. Do we believe that? And then we talked about, we went on a whole, like, it was like a 2-hour thing with Letecia. Did we spend 2 hours with Letecia today? Oh God. We talked about Letecia. What have we? I don't even remember what's my title for the stream. I don't even remember what was the catalyst of this. Letecia. Oh, that's right. Letecia's psychiatrist, who's testifying for her on the stand, said that Letecia had another personality take over while Gannon was being killed, and that Letecia did not know right from wrong during that time. And then we kind of went down a snowball watching Letecia's psychiatrist messing up on the stand. I don't know. It was pretty rough. Yikes. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys are new here, what do I usually say for YouTube? Because sometimes I say different things on YouTube or Twitch. Feel free to like the stream if you guys enjoyed your time here. I'll try to make this video live. Sometimes I chop it up. I haven't chopped up the Lori Vallow stuff yet. I don't know. It's on my to-do list. You think the verdict will come pretty quickly? Same here. I do too. I do think so as well. But yeah, if you guys miss any parts of the stream, I'll try to have this video up soon. And then sometimes I'll chop it up so you can just watch the parts that you want to watch. And then other than that, thanks for hanging out. I also stream on Twitch. I play video games on there. If you guys want to take a break from court stuff and you guys into gaming, feel free to stop by Twitch. Same moniker, Corgi-san with 2 A's. Follow Instagram if you guys like. And I'll have some vlogs coming out soon. We went to Japan recently. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys had a decent time here, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, Rain. Bye, Bleep. Bye, Wayne. Bye, Chani. Bye, Pretty Mama Bear. Oh, I'm sorry, you just came on it. Yeah, we're heading out now. We're done with the Letecia stuff. Bye, Melissa. Bye, Queen. Bye, Patty. Bye, Rain. Carrie, Taxi. Anyone else that I missed? And if they're doing closing arguments tomorrow, I'll try to tune in on the Letecia Stauch trial. But yeah, we'll see. Oh yeah, join the Discord if you haven't already. Join the Discord. It's a hangout space for the community. I have a true crime channel in there. If you have any true crime suggestions or any updates that you want to add in, feel free. Put it in there. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Take care. And I will see y'all. I'll see y'all later.